Well, looks like I'm doing one of these videos again, huh? Oh man, it's been a wild ride, but I think it's time for an update. Hello and welcome to CobaltRetroShop. Hope you're having an amazing day. Now, my regular viewers may notice that I haven't posted regularly in a little bit, 2 months since my expected time, and then 3 months since my last actual, full video. Well, that's because this happened. I'll show you guys more in a bit, but I have my own place now. It's my house. No, I'm not renting. It's my house. I get to do what I want to do in this house, including put holes in the wall if I want to. What exactly does this mean for CobaltRetroShop? Now, as much as I would want to immediately go, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, double full time, bang down the hatches on 100% CobaltRetroShop, as much as I'd love for that to happen, I can't. Some of my longer term viewers may note that I kind of tried to do the same thing at my last apartment, and through a series of really bad decisions on my part, that did not go over well. So I have a second chance of being on my own, a second chance at being able to do CobaltRetroShop the way that I want to. If you did watch any of the videos from the past year or so, I think it was only like 6 or 7 videos, something like that, you may have noticed that my workspace was a lot more cramped. I am glad that I was able to do videos, but honestly, it was not a fun experience for a wide variety of reasons, but primarily that I didn't have a whole lot of space. I even had a storage unit back then, and I still didn't have a lot of space. But now I do. This place that I now own is almost twice as big as that last apartment, but not only that, it's got, well, technically 3 bedrooms, but effectively 2, because as you'll see in a moment, the master bedroom is my studio, because I can do that. And real quick, before we get into the actual tour, I'm not going to show you guys everything, but before we get to the tour of the areas where I'll actually be filming, one of the things you might notice is that I will no longer be filming in my bedroom. Hence, studio. That was one major change that I am making with CobaltRetroShop videos, is I'm no longer going to be filming or editing or doing anything even remotely work related in my bedroom now. It is purely just a bedroom. No filming, no editing. I'm not even putting anything with screens in there, because realistically, I don't really like playing video games in bed that much anyways, and if I really am that sick to where I just need to lay in bed all day, A, I'm probably just going to do it on the couch, but B, if I really do need to be in bed, I have 2 Nintendo Switches, a Nintendo Switch Lite, and now a Steam Deck. So I have portable things, let alone my 2DS, my new 3DS XL, and my Game Boy. I have plenty of handheld options. I don't need a TV in my bedroom. I don't need a TV, I don't need a desk, I don't need any of that. And I just want to point you guys in the direction of a CGP Grey video that I watched a while ago that was the catalyst for that idea. There was a lot of points that they made in that video, but one of the points was to not sleep where you work and work where you sleep, because that confuses you psychologically. I'll have that video linked in the description below if you guys want to check that out. So I'm using that as one of my puzzle pieces to improve my mental health, which should, in theory, help with CobaltRetroShop, aside from everything else I'm about to show you guys. Alright, let's go on the tour. And here we have my living room. First things first, another point for mental health awareness and just trying to be healthier. I have a treadmill. So now I can take a walk at home and hopefully I can just improve my mental health by trying to be healthier. So we have the treadmill that's kind of a pseudo dining room area. We have the wood stove, which I'm absolutely getting rid of at some point. Those are my mats, which we'll get to in a second. And we have the rest of the living room. We have my trusty old Bravia TV and my previously workstation computer that's now a VR computer. And as you can see here, I have a lighthouse installed because I can use my living room area with my VR setup. So now I actually do have a small room scale setup. At some point, I'm gonna try and do some more videos with VR and Linux. Probably, it's probably gonna take a while. But I would love to see how Linux can handle a room scale setup, and I'm also curious to see if they've made any performance improvements or anything like that. So, spoilers, this is the studio, but we'll get to that in a minute. Kitchen's over there, and I actually have a second lighthouse now, so I can even look behind me and not have the screen gray out because there's nothing to be able to track me. And before we get to the studio, I want to show off my admittedly janky network setup, but it works, so I'm not complaining, but some of y'all out there might, because it's a pretty jank and slightly brutal solution. So, over here is where the internet comes into my house. I have a modem plugged in, which is going to my Airport Extreme. I think I actually showed that off briefly at, I think it was my Goodwill video that I did a while back. It actually works. It's friggin' awesome. And since this is the only part in my house that I'm aware of, anyways, that the internet can come into, as you might be able to tell, I have a blue Ethernet cable being snaked along the wall over my front door and through that studio. Oh, just you wait, it gets better. So I actually have two of these sections, as you might be able to tell, they're kind of intended to be closets. I'm not really planning on using them like that. I might install a shelf, something like that. Like I said, I'm not done with these setups. But speaking of not done with, there's just a hole where the patch cable goes through. And it's definitely janky. So janky to the point to where the Ethernet cable that I was using to patch through that panel there is obnoxiously long to the point where I had to stuff it into the wall because I don't have any tools to make Ethernet cables shorter. So I'm dealing with that for the time being. And there's a little bit of a back and forth going because the cable from the patch panel goes about there. Might be able to move this for a second. There's my network switch. And then from the switch, it goes to that Mac Mini, which is going to be a future video, spoilers. And then one of those cables, I believe it's I think it's the white one, something like that. It's one of these goes back to the server that was already basically right by the patch cable here. It's kind of funny, really jank, doesn't look that great. I'm not done with this side of the network yet, but it's to the point where it's functional. And for a good month after I moved in, I hadn't had this set up yet, so I couldn't even access the files on my server. So now I can actually do stuff now. So yeah, as you saw already, this is my desk. It's powered by a Mac Mini, Spoilers, but it's an M1 Mac Mini, which I will be looking at here soon. And I plan on doing my video editing here and music creation. I am still not done with Cobalt Heart. Cobalt Heart is my passion project. I always have Cobalt Heart linked in the description below. It's just a synth metal thing that I do. As a matter of fact, I even wrote the intro theme that you guys always hear in my videos. If you guys want to check that out, just go check out the description. I'm still writing new stuff. I'm very excited for my new stuff, but I'm also in the middle of trying to learn a new software, which is kind of slowing things down a little bit. But I do want to do a new album soon. It's just a matter of time at this point. So right here we have a blackout curtain. That's the same kind of curtain that you guys saw behind me while I was sitting on the couch. This is going to be my work desk. This is where I am going to have room to, like, actually fix things and that kind of stuff. Or maybe just a place where I can do B-roll or whatever. I'm going to be doing a lot behind the scenes to kind of figure stuff out and really try to increase the quality of Cobalt Retrotech videos. So on the site here, we have extra storage. I might get some more. It's just a matter of time. I'm pretty much going to get some more. I got that nightstand in the corner there with my Virtual Boy. And then if I move this chair a second, this is where the rest of my consoles live, at least for now. My Super Nintendo, my Xbox, which will be in a video soon. That might be the first one after this video, I'm not sure. We got my Sega Genesis, we got my GameCube, we have my second Wii U, which came from one of my friends. It was a very generous gift. And then in that ESD bag is actually the motherboard and CPU of my old workstation build. And on the right here, we have my two CRT televisions. That's the top one is one that's shown up on one or two Cobalt Retro Shop videos. We have my NES plugged into that. It still works. As far as I can tell, the other TV, Seymour, that's what his name is. And as far as I'm aware, Seymour does still work, but I haven't had much time to test it. And last time I actually used that TV, it was kind of iffy with its buttons, blah, blah, blah. And as you can see here on the corner here, we have all of my guitars in their hard cases. At some point, I want to get a guitar stand so I don't have to keep taking them in and out of the cases, but this is what I'm doing for right now. Two of my guitars don't have proper cases, so that's why they were like that on the other side of the studio here. And we're just going to be glossing by the master bathroom real quick to this shelf. This right now has a mixture of random crap that I have to deal with. That Commodore 64 and the 1541-2 was actually going to be in a video a long time ago, but I had a really hard time getting it to work. So that didn't actually go through. I think I made a short about it a while ago. I still haven't been able to make some progress on that, but that was mostly due to lack of space. I also have a new to me laptop here, new to the channel, that has yet to make an appearance. And the thing that makes this place really feel like home to me, our old pal Bender. If y'all are a little on the newer side to my channel, this iMac is named Bender because it's the most temperamental computer that I have. And it's getting to the point now where some of its capacitors related to its video circuitry aren't really working, and it also wasn't accepting a firmware update that would allow me to install Mac OS X on that computer. So that's going to be fun to figure out, but now I have space to figure it out. Woo! Oh, and of course, we can't forget the dog. And this is just a closer-up shot of my now VR PC setup. A little bit of a mess, but whatever, it's temporary. And here we are, just a little bit of a closer-up view of my entertainment center. I'm just leaving in that plumber's tape for continuity. So we have my Xbox Series X here, and my Xbox 360 and the Wii U. Weirdly enough, the only ones that are plugged in here are my Series X and the Wii U.
The 360 is not plugged in, but I'm going to start doing that soon. And here are some of the games. And of course, we can't forget the Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Steam Deck.
So, what exactly does this mean for Cobalt Retrotech? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm still trying to figure it out exactly. What I know for certain is that I now have the space to do the things that I want to do. And in theory, I should be able to up my production speed a bit. On the other hand, I still need to prioritize paying the bills, and until Cobalt Retrotech can be viable as a full-time job, which that is still my goal. I still want this channel to be my full-time job. It's just gonna take a lot of work and figuring stuff out behind the scenes. But until then, I still need a full-time job. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to be as aggressive as I had been in the past, but I want to get there eventually. And with that, I'm going to do the most cliche YouTuber thing ever and plug my Patreon. I have a Patreon page that starts at just $1 a month, and I have a few different tiers with a few different perks, including being able to see Cobalt Retrotech videos 2 days or more ahead of time. And a few other things like different kinds of shoutouts at the end of the video. If you are interested in supporting Cobalt Retrotech in that way, I have that linked in the description in all of my videos, at least since I started the Patreon. So feel free to check that out. No pressure though. If you can't, I'm not gonna bend your arm. I am hopeful that I am going to be able to start making Cobalt Retrotech videos again. Hopefully more regularly, but not super crazy like some of the periods of time in my past. Both because I still need to work a full-time job, but I also don't want to put out videos that aren't worth watching. So it's also going to take me a while to figure that out. But yeah, things are looking up for once, which is great. And of course, the fridge kicks in right now. Okay. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Check out my socials, including Twitter and Tumblr, and I also have the CobaltRetroShop eBay store and the Patreon page linked in the description below if you would like to support this channel more directly. Speaking of the Patreon page, I do have to thank Kilo supporter Indian Mac for helping make Cobalt Retrotech possible. Thank you. And with all that being said, I will see you in the next video.